He balls, every project, every seashore. And I ain't content trying to see more nomadic. I probably wanna belong. All it takes is a melody to remind me of home. I've been in New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds.
First things first, you'll need to select your head coach, bearing in mind that you'll also be utilizing the playbook that he favors in the NFL.
DMV all reminds me of California.
If you're curious as to how your team's coming together, keep an eye on its overall rating. You don't need me to tell you the higher the better. So make your selections count. It's so important to find players you can really commit to in these first few rounds. You'd hate to have to readdress these. Oh, did they get themselves a player here or what? Yeah, that's the kind of guy who can elevate that entire unit. He's a very talented addition.
And it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, AATLMIA-DMV, all reminds me of California.
These middle rounds are where your decisions can really impact your team. Excellent selection. Just what this team needs to maybe get him over the hump.
California, no place like California.
Oh, no question that this guy's going to grade out as a huge impact over what was there before.
Dallas, now I'm smelling like LA. Met it from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly. She ate like spaghetti. I'm hitting gas and ready. Met some killers and
tough call here. Do you try and get tougher up front or get yourself a player in what we call a skill position?
Bought it in Nashville, then I woke up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's sunny, California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga.
What to do here? Build up the interior of your line or get that skill player to add another weapon?
Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home?
Boy, it's finger crossing time now. With the end in sight and a few more holes to fill, you've got to be hoping that there's still a gem or two that becomes available. Both offensive and defensive options here. They might have to ask themselves which side of the ball needs more attention. It's the age-old question on draft day. What's the bigger need, offense or defense? We've seen one Jet player be taken already. Could a second be right behind?
To Austin, most likely flossing, type exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons out in Colorado. Any given afternoon, you can catch a hollow.
And now's where you need to make these last picks count. Time to fill any holes you can before it's too late.
From Russia to Delaware, trust me, I'm well aware.
And there's a pick that does fill a hole, but I'm not sure that it's really going to be the one that improves the overall squad a tremendous amount.
Project every seashore, and I ain't content trying to see more nomadic.
Yeah, not too much analysis needed here. This is quite a get at this stage of the draft. Congratulations on completing all 15 rounds. And with that, you've just wrapped up putting together your The lineup screen should be pretty self-explanatory. Do so here.
Cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California, AATLMIA-DMV, all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California,
New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. No place like California, California,
I got some out in Dallas, now I'm smelling like LA. Met it from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly. She ate like spaghetti, I'm hitting gas and ready. Met some killers in Memphis. like they from Oakland. Give me my flowers while I can smell them. Ain't talking about roses, literally I'm lean. Mix it like a bought it in Nashville. Then I woke up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's sunny, California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga, and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me up Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home? You know that state of gold with the bed. Them other places come close, but they don't compare. Now I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
Fresh off a flight to Boston, got a BZ in Maryland that I pipe too often. Headed right to Austin, most likely flossing. Tight, exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons out in Colorado. Any given afternoon, you can catch a hollow. Honestly, it's the same out in Richmond, Virginia or California. Either state you can get it. I done seen everywhere from Russia to Delaware. Trust me, I'm well aware. Barcelona to Bel Air, Petty to the Detroit. No telling. He saw how heavily he balls. Every project, every seashore. And I ain't content trying to see more nomadic. I probably wind up alone. All it takes is a melody to remind me of home. Now I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
Boy, we've just gotten started here, and already these guys have been handed a really difficult decision to make. And this is a big piece of the puzzle right here. Maybe a no-brainer, but a great pick regardless.
And it all reminds me of California.
Boy, you talk about a talented player. This guy's one of the best around.
A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V. All reminds me of California. Cause there's no place like California. California,
Oh, no need to worry about this guy. Just plug him right into a starting role, and he'll be a massive upgrade.
No place like California. California,
I got some out in Dallas.
Still some big holes remaining to be filled. Here's where you may have to go after a lower-rated player just to make sure you get coverage in all areas.
Met some killers in Memphis, like they from Oakland. Give me my flowers while I can smell them. Ain't talking about roses, literally I'm lean. Mix it like a...
Oh, this guy's a rare talent and a huge upgrade over what they had before.
California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga, and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me up Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does every...
The Panthers have been represented once already in this draft. Is a second about to come off here?
The places come close, but they don't compare. Now I've been to New York.
In these middle rounds, you have to start asking yourself, do you settle for what's available now, or do you try and push your luck? This is a pretty telling pick here. Do you go for a big bruiser up front, or get yourself someone who could be a difference maker at a skill position? And with time running short, you've got to hope some guys fall into your lap, or you could be left with some real holes on your roster.
Too often headed right to Austin, most likely flossing. Tight, exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons out in
Yeah, here's a spot where the fan base would be clamoring for a skill player. But I don't think you needed a crystal ball to see that pick coming. That's all about loyalty and familiarity right there.
Trust me, I'm well aware. Barcelona to Bel Air, Petty to the Detroit. No telling. He saw how heavily he balls. Every project, every seashore.
And now, which side of the football will they address here? Some interesting options either way. And I think that pick comes to the surprise of nobody. You had to figure they lean that way if a player from that team became available.
Place like California, California, A-A-T-L-M-I.
Yeah, I think with that pick, you're just looking to build up your core. Get some guys in here that can help round out the roster.
California, California,
California, no place like California.
Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no...
Oh, how about this for a tough choice early on? Which direction? Yeah, no surprise here. Anytime you can get your hands on a player of his caliber, I think you pretty well have to pull the trigger. Boy, you talk about a friendly turn to the cards. This is a great round for these guys as they get themselves a dynamic player right here.
LA, met it from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly.
Where to now? Do you get yourself a big brute for the trenches? Or someone who can really help you out at the playmaking type spot?
Literally, I'm lean, mix it like a...
Some tough choices coming up right about now. Do you go after the best available player, or do you go after a position of need?
It's more like Calistoga and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me a Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota.
Oh, no need to worry about this guy. Just plug him right into the starting role, and he'll be a massive upgrade.
You know that say to go with the bed. Them other places come close, but they don't compare. Now I've been in New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest. There's no place like California, 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 cause there's no place like...
And there's a pick that'll certainly help. Maybe not an impact signing, but you're not gonna hit a home run every round.
Fresh off a flight to Boston, got a BZ in Maryland that I pipe too often. Headed right to Austin, most likely flossing. Type exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons out in Colorado. Any given afternoon, you can catch a hollow. Honestly, it's the same out in Richmond, Virginia or California. Either state, you can get it.
2 words here: difference maker. That's what that pick right there is.
I'm well aware. Barcelona to Bel Air, Petty to the D-Squad. Don't tell him he saw her heavily. He balls. Every project, every seashore. And I ain't content trying to see more nomadic. I probably wind up alone. All it takes is a melody to remind me of home. I've been in New York.
So with a handful of starters already nailed down, you have to ask yourself, do you dare go for depth, or do you just try to cover as many areas of the field as possible?
I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California.
Still a few holes on this roster and not a lot of time left to do anything about it. Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. Whoever's making the final decision here might have a coordinator in each year. Do you go offense or defense?
California.